Good morning. So today is on 7th February, Saturday morning, 2026. Exactly 2 weeks since we laid my Iron Lady. So every morning I would wake up and the first thing would be to go upstairs and to check how she's doing. Then I would find she's asleep, and I would close the door slowly and hand over to Sheila. So this was her room, and this table was always having medicine. This blue thing was to exercise her lungs. She would blow it like for 20 minutes so that her lungs can be active. And all these were her medicines. So she would make sure that she doesn't have any infection, and would have some medicine for her feet, because sometimes her feet used to swell because of the more she continued using the oxygen machine, the more like her kidneys would like fail a bit. So the signs would be her swollen legs. And I've not been to this room until today. And disconnecting this machine brought in so much emotions. Let me tell you, you'd rather not have money, but you have your oxygen for free. Because every time the power would go off, I'd really get stressed. And when I told her that we put on solar, she would say that I should not spend a lot of money on her. So every time the power would go off, sometimes I would transfer her to my farm so that she can get oxygen. And if I tell her to buy, we buy the manual one. Should say that I don't want you to spend money on me, because you need money to take care of your children and may have no future. So this was the machine she was using, and thanks to Kenyatta National Hospital, they had bought for her because she was a staff. And I'm going to give it to somebody that really needs it. So when Chebukati died and Madame was clearing her house and her ICU room, she gave me this cylinder. And that's when now I was not stressed when power would go off. But I want to thank the Kenya Power MD, because of this situation, we were able to get an extra transformer around 2018 near Anandamaga. The people here that don't know how that thing came about, but we went, we mobilized. Even Kafo was there, my cousin Yeshamba was there. They didn't know why I was so passionate in getting that transformer, because nobody knew my sister was in this room on oxygen machine. Nobody knew. Actually, my relatives didn't know, apart from my aunt. They just know that she's just coughing the way she used to cough. But nobody knew why I was fighting so hard to get that transformer. But now they can know why I was fighting for that transformer. And I thank God that out of her illness, she used to say, at least now we got a transformer and we have 3-phase. Yeah, so thank you to Mrs. Chebukati for giving me this. I think we're going to pass it to somebody else who needs it, because I don't need them now. And so this was her wardrobe. I put her in a room that had to two sides of the windows so that she can like have access. And then this was her wardrobe, and every time I used to go out of the country, I would buy her clothes. Sometimes she'll not wear, sometimes she'll say they're expensive. And then this jacket was the last jacket I bought for her. It was a wedding for her friend Grace, was her best friend in high school, and she told me that she really wanted to go to the wedding, but she doesn't have something very warm to keep her outside. This one was they were training with Alisa with that suit, and so this jacket, she told me that she really needed to attend the wedding for Grace, and she needed something warm. And then I tried to check online. I would buy her this. I show her this. She says it's not warm. And so I remembered that I had seen a very nice jacket at Hemingway's Nairobi, Karen. And I went there and I saw this jacket. And this jacket was around $2,800. And I bought it and I removed the tag because I knew if she sees how much it costed, she will not wear it. And so this blanket there, that blanket you've seen was my favorite for my grandmother. We've never thrown it away, so she would use it sometimes to cover her legs when she sits down. So this jacket, I removed the tag and I told my kids not to tell her how much it costed because we were with them. And I would see her dancing in the wedding. And she told me that I have to give my car to her best friend, even if I said I'll never give anybody my car for a wedding again. And so I was the one with the bride, and she was very happy because I supported her best friend from high school. And then I wanted to bury her with it, but Alisa told me if she would wake up and know that you've buried her with a jacket worth 300,000, she would beat me up. So we didn't bury her with it. Then I told her to retire on medical grounds, and she refused to retire. She told me that she has to go to work because she wants me to benefit from her pension. And I used to tell her, I don't care about your pension or whatever. Don't even write me as your next of kin. I just want you to be there living, but you be comfortable. Don't go to work. So she really refused. And I called my aunt and I told her to come and talk to her to retire on medical grounds. And she told me she's not going to retire on medical grounds because she doesn't want to burden me with medical bills. Because when she's working in Kenyatta, I don't have to pay any coin. So we had to get this portable oxygen machine so that she can be using it as she travel in the car and at work. And she used to tell me that, people are coming and finding me doing their records. She was a senior medical records officer, and she would tell me that there's this lady who came and she was very sick, and she found me working with my oxygen machine, and like I gave her hope. So there's no way I'm going to retire. I'm going to be working so that I can give hope to those people who don't have a problem like mine. When they come and they say I'm on oxygen machine, they will get hope to live, and also to see that they are not even worse like her. So anyway, we argued about it for a very long time. I even got her friend Mokaya, and then Mokaya convinced me that if she can walk, it's better that she continue working, because then it means if she goes home, then I'll have to be taking care of her bills. But when she's working in Kenyatta, in case she gets sick, I don't have to pay any money. And my stupid enemies used to think that I'm spending money on her medical. Those who knew that she was unwell, and shock on them, I was not spending any coin on her medical. just our home expenses, which I had told her that she should never even buy anything in the house. I'm going to do everything. Yeah, so that was the portable machine. And those are the 3 machines that kept her alive. And so this was her room. I had put for her a recliner. She used to love recliners. She used to see them in movies for Nigeria. And then when we built this house, I told her that we have to buy. And so this was her washroom. And she used to use a lot of handkerchiefs. And let me tell you, she never allowed the house help to wash her handkerchiefs. She used to use a lot of handkerchiefs because she was always having a running nose for the rest of her life because of the secretion that was coming from her lungs. And she would use her mouth and use her nostril to release the secretion, especially when she does the physio. So that was her washroom, and that was her recliner she would sit on. And the doctor said that we put her in somewhere that she has to use stairs so that she can be using it for physio. And this was the last shoe that I bought for her in my last trip that I went to UK. And I remember she didn't want to wear it because it was expensive. These ones I bought for her in Ghana because they were so flat and they were so cute. This one I bought for her in the US, and she had like 4 pairs, but we used to fight with her why she's putting shoes in her bedroom because we have a shoe rack. And we used to fight all the time why she's putting shoes inside the bedroom. And so her other shoes are in the shoe rack. And she really loved the boots because they were warm inside. Yeah, so she needed to see what's happening outside. And like I told you, that blanket was my Shosho's blanket. And so this is behind. This is like my grandmother's son's homestead. And then opposite is like she had her tenants. So behind here, those were her tenants. And that's the road. Yeah, and that's... So she had 2 sides to see the room. And then she had her own TV. She would watch a lot of YouTube. She had Netflix. And she used to watch a lot of barrios for some reason. I don't know why. And she would tell me that I don't want my barrio to be read. Eulogies. I want you to just narrate my story of how I grew up. You grew up with me. And yeah, I put for her a mirror there. She never used to like to watch mirrors, but I told her you have to be looking at yourself. Yeah, and so she would come here and have some sunrise. And she would come and sit here. I had bought a chair upstairs where she would come and bask and put her legs on that blue stool so that she should treat her legs not to swell. And I remember when I moved to this house, my stupid mother's daughter started spreading rumors that I've been auctioned from my farm and that I was living with a Muslim husband who has chased me away. And little did she know that I came back to live here because her own blood sister was on oxygen machine. And she never knew that. We hid it from her because she's such a rumor monger. She will spread lies from the top of the village to the bottom of the village. And so my aunt lady was like, I hope you've not been auctioned. And I was asking her, how can I be auctioned and I've built a house worth 15 million, furnished it for you? How can I be auctioned? And so sometimes we used to go and spend the time in my farm, and that was our life.